What's going on, YouTube? I am back from vacation and I've got another fun one for you today. Now, a couple weeks ago, I did a tier list on the most competitively viable legends in Season 10 of Apex Legends. Link to that one up above. Now, in that video, I made a joke that the tier list was not about the thickest legends. And I got a lot of comments about people who wanted to follow up on that very joke. So when this video gets weird, you know where it came from. So today I am bringing you the definitive thickness tier list of all the legends in Season 10 of Apex Legends. As always, if you enjoy this content, let me know down below. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend, perhaps one who prefers thickness over viability. But without further ado, I am Brad from Last Call Gaming. Let's tap into it. Alright, this video is already going to be kind of weird, so bit of a disclaimer as always to get us started. These are, of course, my opinion. That being said, this tier list is not serious at all. I'm sure there are some of you out there that prioritize thickness over competitive viability, but this is just a fun tier list, so take these at face value. If there is something that you disagree with, I will take your comments down below. I may or may not respond to them. Please, for the love of God, keep it classy because this is already a strange video. So I guess without further ado, let's get started by talking about the tiers. S tier is dummy thick, no explanation needed there. A tier is thick with 3 C's, very important distinction. B tier is thick with a Q, slightly less thick, still thick. C is kinda thick, self-explanatory. D is not so thick, also self-explanatory. And F tier is Sag with a frowny face. These are for the bottom of the barrel, non-thick legends. There are a few. Bangalore. Bangalore's thick with a Q. Hard to tell with all that armor, the smoke grenades and such, but you know she's a tank. Bangalore is strong thick, which is almost enough to give her own tier, but not quite, so I feel like strong thick is sort of thick with a Q territory. She got them run fast legs, and I guarantee you she can do more push-ups than I can. And for that reason, B tier. Bloodhound. I think Bloodhound is thick with 3 C's. Here's why. This is another one, very hard to tell, but I have a feeling that they've got a dumpy hiding under that Darth Vader cosplay. Also, Bloodhound's like a natural tracker. They're always on their legs. They gotta be building that strength, climbing all kinds of stuff up mountains and hills and whatnot. They just strike me as a 3C territory. The Allfather is thick, and so is Bloodhound. A tier. Caustic, and you wanna know something? This is gonna be our first wave of controversy. I don't think Caustic's that thick. I think Caustic is not so thick. Here's why. So I feel like all of that, like that hazmat suit is just like mostly bulk. I feel like it's all protective gear, and then underneath he's just like this scrawny scientist dude. Like I feel like his heirloom, his whole shape, his armor, all of that is compensating for the fact that he himself, Caustic, is not so thick. And for that reason, Caustic is D tier. This is such a strange thing that I'm doing today. Crypto, our skinny stealthy nerd boy, also in the not so thick category. Much like Caustic, my guy Crypto here hides most of his thickness under his trench coat. But let's face it, the man works with computers all day and is built for speed. And for that reason, I just don't see him as the thickest of legends. Feel free to disagree, but I get the feeling that Crypto's drone is just ever so much slightly thicker than Crypto himself. And for that reason, D tier. Fusey. Oh, you know the Aussie boy is a thick with 3 C's. I mean, look at his stance even in his portrait. The man screams thickness. He brings the big dad energy. Fusey's the guy that drinks Anchor on your Beer Olympics team. And you know when he's not out partying, he's doing squats in the back with the mother load on his shoulders. Fusey's the friend we all want in 2021, and he just gives off the energy of thickness. And for that reason, A tier. Oh, Gibraltar coming in hot with our first entry into the dummy category. I mean, come on, there's no argument here. I don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Gibraltar, Gibbathy, one of the thickest legends in the game. The man was a lifeguard on a Hawaiian-themed planet, for God's sake. Gibby's so thick he almost has his own category. But his character shows us that it's not always about the thickness outside. It's also about the thickness inside. Oh my God, what a statement. He's got both, and for that reason, Gibby is S tier. Horizon, Space Mommy, kinda thick. You know, Horizon's not the thickest legend in the game, but you know what? She's keeping it tight. God. She falls solidly into the category of mothers I'd like to do physics with. Wait, what? Thought about editing that one out in post. Didn't. Her mastery of the space-time continuum and gravity itself have really brought some lift, shall we say, to the situation. She's not the thickest legend, but she is kind of thick, and for that reason, C tier. Lifeline is thick with a Q. While she is thicker than the legends lower on the list, she doesn't quite measure up to the likes of Fusey and Bloodhound in my opinion. She maintains her level of thickness by carrying her team most of the time through her drone, care packages, and tap reses. As a fellow drummer, I can respect her and her level of thickness, and she falls above average in the thick category, and for that reason, B tier. I've been honestly dreading this one. Loba. I'm gonna give Loba her own tier again, above everyone. I feel like if I don't do this, the simps will have my head. Respawn knew what they were doing when they made Loba. Her character model was for someone, or for an entire group of people. Her voice lines, the reskins. Loba's in a league of her own. Everyone knows it. I know it. I'd be foolish to try and hide it. You can't hide what's on the outside. I don't know. I feel bad about this one. This one just feels bad. Loba's got her own tier. Above all else, Loba at the mall. She's the thickest of them all. That one had a bad mouthfeel. Moving on, Mirage. I think we've all at this point seen the viral video of him dancing to that Justin Bieber song. I'm only mad that someone else beat me to it. Dummy thick. We know Mirage lifts. This man aims to please. He's got some deep-seated insecurities that he needs to be the life of the party, and that includes his appearance. But much like Gibraltar, it's not just the thickness on the outside. He's also got a thick heart. And while I haven't been the kindest to him in tier lists of the past, we know for a fact that Mirage is S tier in this one. Competitively viable or not, Mirage, be dummy thick. My boy Octane, our first entrance into the Sag category. I mean, it might be all the drugs that are keeping him that skinny. Might be all the running. Boy's lean, mean fighting machine. He's fast, but this ain't a tier list of whether or not you're fast. This is a thickness tier list. And, you know, obviously the robotic legs aren't doing him any favors. Needs to stop skipping leg day. Ooh, he's speedy, nimble, and quick, but my boy Octane sure ain't thick. These rhymes doing anything for you guys? Pathfinder. Now, if y'all saw one of my shorts last week, you'll know how I feel about good old Pathy. I think Pathy's dance moves speak for himself. He knows how to work it. And for that reason, I think he's actually thick with 3 C's. You know, yes, he's also robotic, but sometimes it's not about the size of the dumpy. It's the angles you choose and how you choose to use them. Besides, look at his chassis. I mean, we all used to say he was a refrigerator when he had low profile, but our boy's got some fluff to him.
And for the record, I'm not fat, I'm fluffy.
And for that reason, Pathfinder is thick with 3 C's. Rampart, our resident mechanic, is thick with a Q. There's a trend with all of these thick with a Q legends where they're very like strong thick. In fact, this whole category could be the strong thick category, a tier all of its own. But you know, Rampart, she's working around heavy machinery all day. She is lifting Sheila. Have y'all seen her lifting form when she's just like free-handing Sheila in that emote? Like, you know, like she is strong thick. Much respect. And for that reason, B tier. Revenant and Sag. Boys all robot, no soul. And when you lack a soul, I'm sorry, you just can't be thick. Part of thickness is soul. There's music written about things like that. It is entirely what funk is based upon. But Revenant is scrawny, and he might be the least thick climber anyone has ever seen. And for that reason, he is Sag. The new kid on the block, Lil Nas Apex. Seer, not so thick. I don't think really anybody can disagree with me here. Guy's skinny, there's nothing wrong with that. Great hitbox, incredibly hard to hit. But in the thickness category, it's just not quite there for me. And that's okay, someone had to be towards the bottom of this list anyway. Seer, incredibly competitively viable, not so thick. My girl Valk. Little Viper is also in the kinda thick category. This one was kinda tricky for me because she can kinda fall into the thick with a Q category as well, but she keeps her form really tight so that she can fly through the air really aggressively. And I respect that. Another one of our gravity-defying legends, Apex's Top Gun, also keeps it pretty tight. And for that reason, kind of thick. Watson. I can hear more simps lining up at the door. Dummy. I've been kind of mean to Watson on these other lists in terms of viability and where she falls in the meta. But you know what? I cannot deny thickness, true thickness when I see it. Our Nessie-loving Watson, much like Mirage and Gibraltar, has both a beautiful inner thickness as well as an outer thickness. That doesn't feel better to say anytime I say it. I knew what this list was when I got into it. Watson players are very committed to her, whether it's because of her playstyle or her thickness. There's something to be said for that. And for that reason, she S tier dummy. And finally, Wraith. Your goth girlfriend is thick with 3 C's. I don't think there's a whole lot to be said about it. All that running in and out of the void, her thickness is multi-dimensional. Fun fact, we all know that Wraith hears voices, but occasionally you will hear one. It's a very rare voice line that just says, thick. I personally have never heard it, but who am I to argue with the void? A tier. This is weird. This is a very weird thing we did today. And so there you have it. Again, this is entirely meant for entertainment purposes. Do not take any of these things seriously, please. Again, feel free to disagree with me in the comments. Make it funny, keep it classy. That's all I ask. But regardless, if you did enjoy this content, be sure to let me know down below. Leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel. We've been growing at a pretty steady pace and I have absolutely no intention of stopping anytime soon. If you found this funny and you want to interact with me personally, I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday right here on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern. But until that time, thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, cheers.